Om Agyana Timranda Shagyana Jana Shalakya Chakshurunilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurava Bhistam Supurkam Guruganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govindabhidam Ujwalam Bharatanam Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwa Guruncha Divyad Bhagavat Prem Noi Bijapradam Manchako Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurata Vishay Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Madhya-lila, chapter 25, how all the residents of Varanasi became Vaishnavas. Vaishnavi Kritya, text number 1. Vaishnavi Kritya Sannyasi Mukam Kashi Nivasina Sanatanam Sul Samskritya Prabhur Niladrim Agamat. After converting into Vaishnavas, all the residents of Varanasi who were headed by the sannyasis, and after completely educating and instructing Sanatan Goswami there, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to Jagannath Puri. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivinoda. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Emata Mahaprabhu Duimasha Paryanta Shikailatare Bhakti Siddhantera Anta. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Sri Sanatan Goswami in all the conclusions of devotional service for 2 consecutive months. Paramananda Kirtaniya Shekarer Sangi Prabhure Kirtana Shunaya Atibora Rangi. For as long as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Varanasi, Paramananda Kirtaniya, who was a friend of Chandrasekhar's, chanted the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and other songs to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a very humorous way. Sanyasera Gana Prabhure Jari Upash Upekshila Bhakta Dukkha Kandaite Tare Kripa Koila. When the Mayavadi sannyasis at Varanasi criticized Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord's devotees became very much depressed. To satisfy them, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed his mercy to the sannyasis. Sannyasere kripa purbe likijachon bishtariya udeshe kohiye ihan sankepa korea. In the 7th chapter of the Adi-lila, I have already elaborately described Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's deliverance of the sannyasis at Varanasi, but I shall briefly repeat it in this chapter. So, that was already explained in the Adi-lila 7th chapter, so here they'll mention something of this, but this chapter deals more with the after effects, after Mahaprabhu had converted all the sannyasis. Jahan tahan prabhurninda kore sannyasi ragan shuni duke maharashtriya vipra koraye chintan. When the Mayavadi sannyasis were criticizing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu anywhere and everywhere in Varanasi, the Maharashtriya Brahmin, hearing this blasphemy, began to think about this unhappily. Prabhura Swabhava Jeva Deke Sanidane Swarupa Anubhave Tare Ishwara Korimane. The Maharashtriya Brahmin thought, whoever closely sees the characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately realizes his personality and accepts him as the Supreme Lord. So this Maharashtriya Brahmin is very intelligent. He can understand. I'll just bring them in close contact with Mahaprabhu and they'll become converted. That's his thinking. Maharashtra is, of course, the state where Bombay, Goa, all that is in Maharashtra.
Goa?
Yeah, it's in Goa. Yeah, Goa. I believe. Goa.
Goa is in Karnataka.
Is it? Are you sure? I don't think so, but anyway, you may be right. Kona prakare paron jari ekatra korite ihadeki sannyasi gana habe iharabhakte. If by some means I can assemble all the sannyasis together, they will certainly become his devotees after seeing his personal characteristics. So this Maharashtrian Brahmin, he's a person, he said, one time Mahaprabhu, when he visits to Mathura, he's Mahaprabhu's chanting and ecstatically, and this Maharashtrian Brahmin is chanting ecstatically with Mahaprabhu. So then afterwards Mahaprabhu, actually that Maharashtrian Brahmin asked him, as Mahaprabhu, if he has some connection with Madhavendra Puri, because that Maharashtrian Brahmin, he was initiated by Madhavendra Puri. So he says, this kind of ecstasy that Mahaprabhu has, he says, is only possible by a connection with Madhavendra Puri. And Mahaprabhu says, yes, I have connection with Ishwara Puri, who's the disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And then that Maharashtriya Brahmin says that Madhavendra Puri visited his house and took a meal there, and then initiated him. Mahaprabhu offered his dandavats to him, and he was a little surprised. And anyway, maybe I hope I'm not mixing together the Sanodiya Brahmin and the Maharashtriya Brahmin. Maybe I am, sorry. Varanasi Vasha Amar Hoy Sarvakale Dukapab Ihana Korile. I shall have to reside at Varanasi the rest of my life. If I do not try to carry out this plan, I shall certainly continue to suffer mental depression. The Maharashtriya Brahmin is thinking, Ita Chinti Niman Srila Sannyase Ragane Tabise Vipra Aila Mahaprabhu Stane. Thinking like this, the Maharashtriya Brahmin extended an invitation to all the sannyasis of Varanasi. After doing this, he finally approached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to extend him an invitation. Now, Varanasi is Benares. I think Benares is a Muslim name, but it was Varanasi. And all the Vaishnavas there are suffering because they say all we ever hear about is Maya and Brahman and never anything about the Lord, just Mayavadi, catchwords. We don't really hear about, devotees or Krishna or Radha Krishna or anything, just Maya and Brahman and stuff. So they want some relief. Henakale Ninda Shune Shekara Tapan Dukapaya Prabhupade Koila Nivedan. At this time, Chandrasekhar and Tapan Mishra both heard blasphemous criticism against Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and felt very unhappy. They came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet to submit a request. And I heard Prabhupada say about this. I mean, Prabhupada was a little direct in his criticism. He said, if they heard blasphemy of Mahaprabhu and it made them unhappy, they should have done something about it. He said they should have confronted them and preached to them. And he said, and if you can't do that, you're just a kanista adhikari. But I'm well, okay.
Maharaj, I wanted to ask recently, what does adhikari mean?
Adhikari. Your behavior, good behavior or bad behavior, adhikari. As far as I know.
Adhikar means behavior, adhikari means the person of that, something that's like
Qualification.
Kanishta adhikari means
All right.
the personification
Of that kind of adhikar, okay.
Yeah, Madhyam adhikari.
Yeah. And Kanishta adhikari means Kanishta adhikari means like a materialistic devotee, basically. Or not able to yeah, Bhakta Prakrita. Krita. What is it? I'm forgetting everything now, but it's Prakrita Bhakta, yeah. A material, that literally means a materialistic devotee, is what it means. Bhakta dukkha deki prabhu manete chintila sannyasis mana firaite mana hoila. They submitted their request, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, seeing his devotees' unhappiness, decided to turn the minds of the Mayavadi sannyasis. So he'll accept their invitation to go to be with, although normally he wouldn't go anywhere near where Mayavadi sannyasis are, but since they're all invited to the house of the Maharashtriya Brahmin, and Mahaprabhu knows his disciples, his devotees in Varanasi are all unhappy, he decides to do something about it. So he accepts the invitation. And then, as we heard in the 7th chapter, he goes there, washes his feet at the place where people wash their feet, and then sits down there, even though it's considered an unclean place. And they all come in. They Prakashananda Saraswati, Prakashananda, what is it? Prakashananda Saraswati, I guess. He comes there, and he says, "Why are you unhappy? Here, let me bring you into the assembly of devotees." And it says there that got him some kind of sukriti, the fact that he extended an invitation to Mahaprabhu and brought him into the assembly. Anyway, that Henakali Viprashe Kore Lani Mantran Aneka Danyari Kore Darila Charan. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was seriously considering meeting with the Mayavadi sannyasis, the Maharashtriya Brahmin approached him and extended an invitation. The Brahmin submitted his invitation with great humility, and he touched the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tabe Mahaprabhu Tara Nimantrana Manila Ardin Madhyana Kori Tara Garigela. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted his invitation. Where are you going?
Taking Bumsy to the airport.
Okay, nice.
Not allowed.
Not allowed.
Bumsy's leaving? Bumsy's
Yeah, he's going to Guadalajara. That's good. We're going there tomorrow. You can see Bumsy too. Just buy a ticket. I actually, Shimona wrote me. She wants you to go. Dhanyavad. Tame Mahaprabhu Tara Nimantrana Manila Aradin Madhyana Kori Tara Garigela. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted his invitation, and the next day, after finishing his noontime activities, he went to the Brahma's house. So, that's like Govinda Maharaj for his noontime meal. He would bathe, and Mahaprabhu for his noontime meal would bathe in the ocean. So, Tahanjai She Koila Prabhu Sanyasira Nistar Pancha Tattva Kyane Taha Koryache Bistar I have already described Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's deliverance of the Mayavadi sannyasis in the 7th chapter of the Adi-lila, when I described the glories of the Panchatattva, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, Gadadhar Prabhu, and Srivas. Grantabore Punarukti Hoy Takatan Tahanje Na Likilun Tabakoriache Likan. Since I have already described this incident very elaborately in the 7th chapter of the Adi-lila, I do not wish to increase the size of this book by giving another description. However, I shall try to include in this chapter whatever was not described there. Che Divasa Prabhu Sanyasira Kripa Koila, Se Divasa Hoite Grame Kola Hoila. Beginning from the day on which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed his mercy to the Mayavadi sannyasis, there were vivid discussions about this conversion among the inhabitants of Varanasi. So they're all converted, they're all glorifying Mahaprabhu. And the main disciple of Prakashananda Saraswati, I guess he's glorifying Mahaprabhu, and then his spiritual master, who was Prakashananda Saraswati. That's his name, right? Yes, Mayavadi sannyasi leader. He also glorifies Mahaprabhu. Lokera Sangata Aishe Prabhure Dekite Nana Shastre Pandita Aishe Shastra Vicharika. Crowds of people came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from that day on, and scholars of various scriptures discussed different subject matters with the Lord. Sarva Shastra Kandi Prabhu Bhakti Korisar Sayuktika Bhakya Mana Firaya Sabar. When people came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to discuss the principles of various scriptures, the Lord defeated their false conclusions and established the predominance of devotional service to the Lord. With logic and argument, he very politely changed their minds. Upadesha loya kore Krishna Sankirtan Sarvalok Hasegai Koraye Nartan. As soon as people received instructions from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they began to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Thus everyone laughed, chanted, and danced with the Lord. Prabhure Pranata Hoila Sanyasi Ragan Atma Madhye Goshti Kore Chari Adyayan. All the Mayavadi sannyasis offered their obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then began to discuss his movement, giving up their studies of Vedanta and Mayavad philosophy. Prakashananda Sishya Ek Tahara Saman Sab Madhye Kohe Prabhu Koriya Saman. One of the disciples of Prakashananda Saraswati, who was as learned as his guru, began to speak in that assembly, offering all respects to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Hoy Sakat Narayan Vyasa Sutra Artha Koran Ati Manoram. He said, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan himself. When he explains the Vedanta Sutra, he does so very nicely. We remember Govindamar saying like that. Very nice. Upani Syader Koran Mukyarta Bhyakyan Shunya Pandita Loka Judayamana Khan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains the direct meaning of the Upanishads. When all learned scholars hear this, their minds and ears are satisfied. Sutra Upanishader Mukyarta Chadiya Acharya Kalpana Kore Agraha Korea. Giving up the direct meaning of the Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishads, Shankar Acharya imagines some other interpretation. This is really nice that they're all saying, before we used to listen to Shankar Acharya's explanations, we were never really satisfied by that. But now that we've heard Mahaprabhu's explanations, we're happy. So So, Acharya Kalpita Artha Je Pandita Shune Muke Hoi Hoi Kore Hridoya Namane. All the interpretations of Shankar Acharya are imaginary. Such imaginary interpretations are verbally accepted by learned scholars, but they do not appeal to the heart. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Bhakya Drida Satyamani Kale Kale Sannyase Samsara Nahi Jani. The words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are firm and convincing, and I accept them as true. In this age of Kali, one cannot be delivered from the material clutches simply by formally accepting the renounced order. Here, here. One cannot be delivered just by accepting the renounced order. Harer Nama Shlokera Jay Korila Bhyakyan Se Satya Sukadarta Parama Praman. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's explanation of the verse beginning Harer Nama is not only pleasing to the ear, but is strong factual evidence. Bhakti bina mukti nahe bhagavate koi kali kale namabashe sukhe mukti hoy. In this age of Kali, one cannot attain liberation without taking to the devotional service of the Lord. In this age, even if one chants the holy name of Krishna imperfectly, he will attain liberation very easily. Shreya Shritim Bhaktim Udashyate Vibo Klishyantit Ye Kevala Bodha Labdaye Teshama So Kleshala Eva Sishyate Nanya Dyata Stula Tashava Gatinam. My dear Lord, devotional service unto you is the only auspicious path. If one gives it up simply for speculative knowledge or the understanding that these living beings are spirit souls and the material world is false, he undergoes a great deal of trouble. He only gains troublesome and inauspicious activities. His actions are like beating a husk that is already devoid of rice. His labor becomes fruitless. So this is the description of somebody who gives up devotional service and just pursues gyan, thinking, hearing speculative knowledge, or thinking about everyone is Brahman and all that. It's like dry, and it compares that to beating a husk, husk from rice, but the rice is already gone. So it's like the term is not used here, but it's Shreya Ikevalam. What is it? Shreya Ikevalam means just a useless waste of energy. That's what it means, a useless waste of energy. Yenye Ravindaksha Vimuktamaninas Tvayasta Bhavad Avishuddha Budaya Aruya Kritrena Parambaram Tata Patanti Ado Nadrita Yushmadangraya. I'm hearing myself amplifying. I sound hoarse. Do I sound hoarse to you?
No.
Okay.
Very sweet.
What?
Very sweet.
Okay. This verse is nice from the Bhagavatam. O lotus-eyed one, those who think they are liberated in this life but who are devoid of devotional service to you are of impure intelligence. Although they accept severe austerities and penances and rise to the spiritual position, to impersonal Brahman realization, they fall down again because they neglect to worship your lotus feet. And that means, okay, you're flying in the sky, you're very liberated and everything like that, but you have no place to land because all you know is Brahman, and there's nothing there, there's no There's no soul, there's no qualities, there's nothing. And it's like you're in a liberated position, but you can't sustain it because the nature of the soul is a person, and he has likes and dislikes, and he wants to take shelter of something, but you're just hovering in this, like I said before, like some bird just soaring in the sky, but eventually you can't soar in the sky anymore. You have to come land. So what is the landing point? Just some material engagement. Like the Mayavadis, they'll open some hospital or feed the poor or something. But they have no spiritual knowledge. Just all they can do is maybe do something in the mode of goodness. But Brahma Shabde Kohe Shadaishvarya Purna Bhagavan Tare Nirvishesha Stapi Purnata Hoyahan. The word Brahman, the greatest, indicates the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full in all six opulences. But if we take the one-sided impersonalist view, his fullness is diminished. So who can say this better than an ex-impersonalist? This is the disciple of Prakashananda Saraswati. He's their leader of all the disciples, and he knows the impersonalist philosophy backwards and forwards. Shruti Purana Kohe Krishnera Vid Chit Shakti Vilas Tahana Himani Pandit Kori Upahas. The Vedas, the Upanishads, the Brahma Sutra, and the Puranas all describe the activities of the spiritual potency of the Lord. If one cannot accept the personal activities of the Lord, he jokes foolishly and gives an impersonal description. Chidananda Krishna Vigraha Maike Korimani E Bora Pap Satya Chaitanya Rabani. The Mayavadis do not recognize the personal form of the Lord as spiritual and full of bliss. This is a great sin. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's statements are actually factual. So he's calling when he was engaged in before of impersonalist philosophy. He says they negate the personal form of the Lord and do not see that his form is full of Satchidananda, full of bliss. This is a great sin. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's statements are actually factual. So you can see they're really converted. They've been completely converted. Nata param parama yad bhavata swarupam ananda matram avikalpam avidama vach varcha pashyami vishvam vishrija ekam avishvam atman bhutendriyat mahakam adasta upashrita asmi. And what's going to happen? And subsequently, Prakashananda Saraswati will come and he'll basically beg the forgiveness of Mahaprabhu and say, "I've committed many aparadhas to him," and then Mahaprabhu will say, "Oh, don't talk this way. You are a big guru, and you have so many disciples, and I'm not even fit to be your disciple. So don't talk this way in front of all these people." Mahaprabhu is so humble. This is the aftermath of converting all these people. They all know Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord, but Mahaprabhu doesn't so much like to be called the Supreme Lord. No, please don't talk this way. I'm just, I'm not even fit to be counted among your disciples. Nata param parama yad bhavata swarupam ananda matram avikalpam avidam varcha pashyami vishva srijam ekam avishvam atman bhutendriyatmakam adasta upashritosmi. O Supreme One, the transcendental form I am now seeing is full full of happiness. It is not contaminated by the external energy. It is full of effulgence. My Lord, there is no better understanding of you than this. You are the Supreme Soul and the creator of this material world. But you are not connected with this material world. You are completely different from created form and variety. I sincerely take shelter of that form of yours which I am now seeing. This form is this original source of all living beings and their senses. This reminds me one time that an astrologer is called to, see about Mahaprabhu and give his horoscope like that. And then that astrologer goes into meditation. He says, I saw something I could not understand, and I saw when I meditated on your form, I saw the Supreme Brahman full of effulgence and like this. And he's describing, I saw a form full of effulgence, the Supreme Lord. I think you're the Supreme Lord himself and everything. And then Mahaprabhu says, I don't think you got it right. He says, I think in my former life, I took care of cows, and because of that, I got a good birth as a Brahmin. Mahaprabhu tells him, I don't think you saw things correctly. So the Supreme Lord, the transcendental form I am now seeing is full of transcendental bliss. It is not contaminated by the external energy. It is full of effulgence. My Lord, there is no better understanding of you than this. You are the Supreme Soul and the creator of this material world, but you are not connected with this material world. You are completely different from created form and variety. I sincerely take shelter of that form of yours, which I am now seeing. This form is the original source of all living beings and their senses. So you see, these Mayavadis, they're overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed. They become really, what do you call it, super, like, when somebody's converted, they become even more, more over, what's the word? They become more fanatic than a normal person. So they're becoming these people that become real fanatics of Mahaprabhu. But his normal devotees don't talk in this way. They're more mellow and everything, but the converted Mayavadis, they're fanatics now, which is nice. Drishtam Shrutam Bhuta Avad Bhavishyat Stan Stasnus Charishnor Mahad Alpakamba Vina Chutad Vastutaram Vacham Saeva Saram Sarvam Paramatma Bhuta. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the cause of all causes. He is past, present, and future, and He is the movable and immovable. He is the greatest and the smallest, and He is visible and directly experienced. He is celebrated in the Vedic literature. Everything is Krishna, and without Him there is no existence. He is the root of all understanding, and He is that which is understood by all words. So this is now becomes very... whereas Mahaprabhu's disciples, they talk, you're going to see that when Nityananda Prabhu converted along with Mahaprabhu, Jai and Vijay, then Advaita Acharya began to say, just now, what's going to happen? The next thing you know, this Nityananda, he's going to bring these drunkards here and he's going to have them dance with us. And you never know what he's going to do. He's like that. And then it describes that Advaita Acharya is talking like that. Nityananda won't be satisfied till he brings them here and they're dancing, and these drunkards are here dancing with us. He won't be satisfied to that. And while he's talking like that, He's standing there naked. Advaita Acharya. Mahaprabhu's devotees are, they're very unique. But their Mayavadis here are they're very enthusiastic, right? As you said, fanatic. Tadvab idam bhuvana mangala sya jnane sma darashitam ta upashakanam tasmai namo bhagavate nu vididem abtubhyam yonadrito naraka bhagbir asat prasangai. And quoting from scripture, O most auspicious one, for our benefit you enable our worship of you by manifesting your transcendental form, which you show to us in our meditation. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you, the Supreme Person, and we worship you, who impersonalists do not accept due to their poor fund of knowledge. Thus they are liable to descend into a hellish condition. Describe it. Now there's some what do you call it? Some words directed against the impersonal. You, maybe last week he was an impersonalist, but now he's saying, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you, the Supreme Person, and we worship you, whom impersonalists do not accept due to their poor fund of knowledge. Thus they are liable to descend into a hellish condition. Avajanante mambudha manushim tanamashritam parambhavam ajananto mamabhuta maheshwaram. Fools disrespect me because I appear like a human being. They do not know my supreme position as the cause of all causes, the creator of the material energy. Yes? They become fanatics. They become like ISKCON devotees. Well, somebody better edit this out. Tan aham vishata kruran samsareshu nararaman shipami ajasram ashubhan asuresh veva yonishu. Those who are envious of my form, who are cruel and mischievous. Fools disrespect me because I appear like a human being. They do not know my supreme position as the cause of all causes, the creator of the material energy. Those who are envious of my form, who are cruel and mischievous, and the lowest among men are perpetually cast by me into hellish existence in various demoniac species of life. Okay. Sutrera parinamavad tahana maniya vivartavad stape vyasabranda molia. Not accepting the transformation of energy, Sripad Shankar Acharya has tried to establish the theory of illusion under the plea that Vyasadeva has made a mistake. All right. So what is his theory of illusion? What is his mistake? His mistake is he has not recognized transformations of energy. The idea that variety in form exists, he tries to explain it as it's an illusion that you see individuality. It's an illusion that you see individual people around you. That's an illusion. You're under illusion and you don't understand that there's only the existence of one Brahman. So everything you see, a variety is illusion. They said in this way, Shankar Acharya is cheating because he tries to explain it as an illusion, but actually it's the transformation of energy. Energy is always being transformed. Sripad Shankar Acharya has given his interpretation an imaginary meaning. It does not actually appeal to the mind of any sane man. He has done this to convince the atheist and bring them under his control. Well, that's true because he's empowered. I mean, Lord Shiva says, in the future I will appear as a Brahmin, Shankar Acharya, who will mislead the people to give them an impersonal conception, because previously they had been Buddhist, and now they've been gradually brought back to the Vedas by Shankar Acharya. And Lord Shiva tells his wife Parvati, I'm doing this in the future I will appear like this to bring the people gradually back to the Vedas, and I will mislead them. So, Eta kalpita arta mane nahi bhai shastra chari kuko pana pashande ujai. Sripad Shankar Acharya has given his interpretation in an imaginary meaning. It does not actually appeal to the mind of any sane man. He has done this to convince the atheist and bring them under his control. So, who are the atheists? The Buddhists. The Buddhists are atheists, according to it, in this way. One time Goswami Maharaj was here, and he's speaking about this, and he's speaking about Buddhism and the atheists and everything. And then one person stood up and says, because he had said something about the Buddhists being atheists and everything, someone stood up and said, just stick to the Krishna stuff, all right? That's what one of our guests said that. And then Goswami Maharaj said, you're right. We should only stick to the Krishna stuff. Only talk about Krishna. And he really answered in a nice way. You're right. We should only stick to the Krishna stuff and all this. And then I remember one devotee was here, Dharani, Narendra, and Tulsi, and he asked, well, what's it take to be able to join a temple, move into a temple, and be a devotee there? And Goswami answered, well, you have to be surrendered to the Guru and this and that. And he explained very nicely while he's talking. His girlfriend who was with him, she said, you can't take it, can you? She said, you can't take it, can you? It's like a madhouse here sometime. It does not. Paramartha bichar gela korim mantrabad kahan mukti bhab kahan krishnera prasad. The atheists, headed by the Mayavadi philosophers, do not care for liberation or Krishna's mercy. They simply continue to put forward false arguments and counter theories to atheistic philosophy, not considering or engaging in spiritual matters. The atheists, headed by the Mayavadi philosophers, do not care for liberation or Krishna's mercy. They simply continue to put forward false arguments and counter theories to atheistic philosophy, not considering or engaging in spiritual matters. Okay, let's read a few more verses. Vyasa Sutra Arta Acharya Koryache Achadan Ahoy Satya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Vachan. The conclusion is that the import of the Vedanta Sutra is covered by the imaginary explanation of Shankar Acharya. Whatever Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said is perfectly true. Chaitanya Gosai Jai Kale Se Matasar Arajat Mata Se Sabha Charakar. Whatever meaning Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives is perfect. Any other interpretation is only a distortion. Eda kohe se kore Krishna Sankirtan Shune Prakashananda Kichu Kohana Vachan. After saying this, the disciple of Prakashananda Saraswati began to chant the holy name of Krishna. Hearing this, Prakashananda Saraswati made the following statement. So tomorrow we'll hear what Prakashananda Saraswati himself says, because it's a very nice reaction to Mahaprabhu's conversion of the Mayavadi sannyasis, how they speak, how they glorify. One time we heard that Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Maharaj is brilliant, incredibly. He was asked by somebody, can you prove that the soul exists? Have you heard this explanation? Can you prove the soul exists? And Maharaj, Guru Maharaj said, you don't have to prove that the soul exists. The soul shows himself. The soul shows himself by consciousness. He shows himself. You don't have to prove that he exists. He's showing himself. He's revealing himself. And Guru Maharaj gave an explanation. And I'm trying to remember because it's this is explained in reference to statements like these that we're hearing now. I wish I could remember the whole
He
argument.
was mentioning the Bhagavatam. He said that the cloud, you can see the cloud with the moon behind.
What it is in one of
Why you see the moon, the cloud? Because the moon. Is
like that, but it's more detailed than that. Guru Maharaj is. I'm forgetting. I'm trying to remember which book it's in the book. One of the books published. One of those books published by Goswami Maharaj, where it talks.
Subjective evolution.
Huh?
Subjective evolution is there.
And it says that. No, I don't think it's in that. I think maybe it's in Golden Volcano of Divine Love or something. I don't know. I'll look this because I remember.
Is it that when he said he heard the two men arguing, one saying, I believe God exists, and the other saying, I doubt that God exists. And then Guru Maharaj said, so does the doubter exist? And the man said, oh yeah. And he said, so then explain how the doubter exists if God doesn't exist.
Yeah. So this is saying that that people go on continuously arguing over and over and over again, and reach no conclusion.
Yeah,
But
there's no point.
huh?
There's no point.
Yeah, but they're discussing whether spirit exists, but then the example is given that the soul exists and he shows himself. He reveals himself. It's not that you have to look for him. You don't have to look for the soul. The soul is showing himself to you. He's showing himself to you by consciousness. But I will look for it. It's only one page long, but it's just very incredibly brilliant the way Guru Maharaj explains that. That's the thing about Srila Sridhar Maharaj. His explanations are so unique. So we'll sing Hari Harai and then we'll take breakfast. And tomorrow, there's 5 of us traveling to Mexico, and then I think that's in the evening. And Krishnakanta and Manindra, you go. Where do you fly to? Italy?
Yes.
From San Francisco? And is it direct?
No, Canada.
Oh, Canada. With what airline?
Air Canada.
Okay. And do you go into Calgary or something like that? I don't know. When you fly from here to Canada on Canada Airlines, it's like a 3-hour layover because you have to go through immigration in Canada.
No,
What?
they're going through. They're not.
I was going through too. When it's just like the United States. When you enter here, you may be going through, but you have to clear immigration. In Canada also, when you go through there, you have to clear immigration. But at least where I was, they had very nice ice cream, and it didn't cost very much. So. We went through from here to Calgary. That's where our stop was. And then from Calgary, from Calgary we flew to England. And I don't know where you fly. From Canada to where? Italy? With Air Canada. Yeah, that's what I was on. Air Canada, they were nice. The Canadians were nice. They're a little more civil than Americans. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama Jaravaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Giridhari Gopinatha Marana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Gadadara Shiva Sari Ghora Bhaktivedanta Gadadara Shiva Sari Ghora Bhaktivedanta Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raguna Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raguna Shri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Dasa Raguna Shri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Dasa Raguna H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan H.I. Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jao Itte Vignana Shabishta Puran Jao Itte Vignana Shabishta Puran H.I. Gosai Jar Mui Kararam H.I. Gosai Jar Mui Kararam Dasavar Padarenu Mora Panchagram Dasavar Padarenu Mora Panchagram Darir Charana Sevi Bhakta Saneva Darir Charana Sevi Bhakta Saneva Janame Janame More Abhilash Janame Janame More Abhilash H.I. Gosai Jar Mui Taradan H.I. Gosai Jar Mui Taradan Kasavar Padarenu Mora Panchagram Kasavar Padarenu Mora Panchagram Kadir Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Kadir Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Janame Janame More Abhilash Janame Janame More Abhilash H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas H.I. Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindaban Anande Bolo Hari Madhya-lila Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyan Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naradhamodan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Saparikara Shri Shri Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tilak Neri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Acharya Tara Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Acharya Tara Sata Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Sanatan Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Chiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Sadguru Swami Prabhu Ki Jai. Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasri Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Vishva Varenya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupad Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj Ki Jai. Nanda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopi Govardhan Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Manindra Mohan and Krishna Kanta Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari When's Manindra, when's your birthday?
My birthday,
Yeah.
1st of September.
Okay, so why don't we celebrated yesterday Krishna Kanta's birthday? Why don't you stay